Every Sunday, the farmers of the smallest village in the smallest town would come to the market. The shepherd sold wool, the cow herder sold milk, and the chicken farmer sold eggs. At the end of this Sunday, they gathered together and discussed their sales. "I sold 20 pounds of wool and I made $20, said the shepherd. "I sold 15 gallons of milk and I made $15, said the cow herder. "I only sold 10 eggs and I made $10, said the chicken farmer. While they each had different outcomes, the farmers were generally happy with the income they made for that day. They began to talk on how they would spend their money. First, they put aside $3 to buy meal to feed their animals. Second, they put away $2 to buy food for themselves. And then they put away another $3 to get new tools and equipment. The shepherd, who had $12 left, first bought a fancy new $5 shirt and then decided he would go to the pub with his remaining money. He invited the other two farmers, and the cow herder, who had $7 left, obliged. "Would you like to come with us?" they asked the chicken farmer, who had $2 left. "No thanks," she replied. The first two farmers went to the pub and racked up a sizable bill, spending the remaining money they had that day. Before she went home, the chicken farmer decided to make a stop at a local store. "I'd like 2 bags of apple seeds, please," she told the teller. She handed over her remaining $2 in exchange for the seeds. 2 of the 3 farmers slept in the next day. They didn't get much work done that day, but they didn't mind, because they had a good time last week and knew they could do it again next week. That same day, the chicken farmer was digging in the ground and planting her very first apple seeds. She planted, watered, and tended to the seeds, but still made time for her chickens and collecting eggs. By the time the next Sunday rolled around, the 3 farmers set up shop as usual. They finished the day with the same amount of money as last time, and again the shepherd asked, "Would you like to join us at the pub?" Again, the chicken farmer replied, "No thanks." She bought her apple seeds and went home. Months passed, and months turned into years with the same pattern of eggs sold and apple seeds bought. One day, a new farmer came to town, and rumor spread that this farmer was the son of one of the wealthiest men in the country. So the shepherd, cow herder, and chicken farmer all decided they would go check out his farm. As soon as they stepped foot onto his land, their jaws dropped. They saw the finest sheep with the finest white wool roaming freshly grazed fields. They saw cows that stood big and strong, eating the top-notch meal and producing the highest quality milk. And the chickens were kept in lavish coops where they ate fresh new grain and laid eggs that seemed to be made of gold. The farmers were devastated because they knew what it meant. Next Sunday, the farmers went to the market as usual, but were saddened to see that the new farmer had set up the most amazing shop with the highest quality animal produce. No matter how much they tried to sell their own products, everyone flocked to the new farmer's booth where they would buy the best wool, the best milk, and the best eggs. The day ended miserably, and the farmers got together to discuss. "I only made $2 today," said the shepherd. "You think that's bad? I only sold 1 gallon of milk, and I made $1 today," said the cow herder. "Did you make anything at all today?" they asked the chicken farmer. "Well, yes," the chicken farmer replied. "I made $80. "What?" said the shepherd and cow herder. They were very confused. But instead of explaining, the chicken farmer brought them over to their farm so they could see what happened. When the shepherd and cow herder got to the chicken farmer's land, they were amazed. Beautiful apple trees surrounded the land. Ripe red fruit was hanging off the branches ready to be picked. You see, every night when you went to the tavern, I spent my remaining money on apple seeds. I've spent years tending to these trees, and they finally produced enough fruit for me to sell. So I loaded up my wagon and sold my apples." The shepherd and cow herder were awestruck, but their faces were still filled with grief from the loss of their own businesses. Seeing their despair, the chicken farmer said, "Come on, I'll take you to a place I think will cheer you up." The men expected to go to the pub, but the chicken farmer took them to a different store, where she pulled out her wallet and bought each of them 2 bags of apple seeds. So the lesson here is to buy apple seeds and not drinks. In the personal finance space, these are often called assets and liabilities. Apple seeds were something that were bought but then later put money in the pocket of the chicken farmer, and drinks were something that took money out of the pockets of the other farmers. And even when the market changed and the competition rose, the farmer who had bought assets managed to keep her business afloat. That's all I have for you today. I hope this story got the lesson across. I came across the concept of assets versus liabilities when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The book uses storytelling to get a lot of its lessons across, so I thought I'd write a short story myself and try to do the same. If you enjoyed, please like the video as well as subscribe to my channel because it helps out a lot. Thank you so much for watching.